Ever since I was a kid, I've had a dream to travel around Australia, to see some of the mythical places and meet some of the legendary characters. The problem's always been though, I've got no cash. So what if I could work my way around? I wouldn't need much, just some fuel, food, a bit of fun along the way, so I reckon I'll give it a shot. It's going to be tough, but it might just be the adventure I'm after. I hope you can join me. Ever since I was a little kid, I was taught the value of keeping a money box. You never know when you might come across a rainy day. Well, it's not exactly raining today, but I am hoping the contents of this tin will get me at least a couple of tanks of fuel. Starting in Townsville, the goal is to make my way across Queensland to the Northern Territory border. I've scraped up about $200, an old four-wheel drive, and a willingness to put myself out there and try my hand at anything. I've made contact with a friend of mine who's apparently doing some work in his garden. I'm headed there now to see what he's got in store. G'day mate, Scott.
G'day Scott. Orlando.
Good to meet you mate. Basically what I've got here is a bit of a clean-up job. In return, and this is what I'm really excited about, Orlando's going to take me out on his boat, see if we can catch a couple of fish. So I'll get into it, and really looking forward to that weekend on the water. Wow, in that little bit of time I went across to the tip, the temperature here has skyrocketed. It is hot and I'm sweating lots. One thing I didn't mention this morning to the boss is how ordinary I am at reversing a trailer.
This is ridiculous.
It's not going to happen. There you go, easy as you like. It has actually been a bit of a bigger day than I was expecting. The heat knocked me around a bit, which I'll have to get used to. But I'm looking forward to now getting down on the reef tomorrow. Orlando.
Mate, good job, good job.
Happy with it all?
Oh, looks great. Big day, eh?
Well, yeah,
It
has been a big day, but I must say it's filled me with optimism, as it looks like this adventure might just work.
Good day, ready to go?
Righto, let's go fishing. Sweating in that backyard yesterday was all about this moment now. I'm very excited for this. Orlando's all set to go. We'll go and get some lines wet. Apart from paradise, where are we?
Oh, this is Yanks Jetty on Orpheus Island, part of the Great Palm Island group. Probably one of my favourite spots up here. As you can see, there's not a soul around. There's one sailing boat out in the distance there, and that's about it. And if you look down the water, there's a
array of different fish down there.
So it's good snorkeling around here. Later on, after we set up camp, I'll take you around to the Kurikaya Channel, and we'll go and try some for some queenies and see if there's any wildlife over there.
Orpheus Island, what a magical spot. Simply just to come here and see this was worth any of the sweat from yesterday, and there's still plenty more to come. What do you reckon we do now, mate?
Mate, I reckon you set up the tent.
I'm sure you can see all these fish all around me. They're actually swimming into me as I paddle here. It's like I'm one of them.
Oh, you should only take what you're going to use. Sometimes we come out fishing and, we might catch, I don't know, like guessing roughly, I don't really count, but, a couple of hundred fish. Oh yeah, that's what we're here for, these.
As much as I enjoy it, I haven't done a lot of fishing. So to hook up a big fish would be a massive thrill. That really took it out of me, and I tell you now, that is heartbreaking. But yeah, we've got to get these lines back in quickly. What is it?
A Fusilier.
Fusilier. Not really one to set any records, but at least I've caught a fish.
That's what we want. We're just about to send another bait out the back because Scotty lost another one, basically. So I think the next one might be my turn, just to show how it's done.
As far as the fishing's concerned, I guess today was unsuccessful, hence the steak for dinner. But in all, what a fantastic way to spend an afternoon. Pretty good feed, eh?
Yeah, mate, it's great. Maybe not as good as mackerel would have been, but it's pretty good.
It is with a bit of sadness that I leave this part of the world after an absolutely spectacular weekend. But the adventure must continue. So, with a little salt left in the hair as a reminder, I head west, looking for more work to top up the kitty. Charters Towers is about 130 k's inland of Townsville. It was founded in the 1870s when gold was discovered, and the town still has a strong connection with the precious metal. Today, it's a town of over 8,000 people, so hopefully there should be some work opportunities about. But the only way to find out is to get out there and ask.
I just had a hit in the bakery shop. There's some walls in there that need cleaning. So I'm working on a bit of a quote that I think might include a couple of free pies.
When I started this trip, I probably didn't picture myself scrubbing walls. But I have to feed myself somehow, so, as cliche as it sounds, I've got to roll up the sleeves and give it a go.
Well, all done for the day. Took me a bit longer than I thought it might have done, so I might have underquoted. Nonetheless, ended up with a bit of bread and something sweet for later on, so did all right in the end. Straight away though, my next job is a drink.
Charters Towers, like most towns in North Queensland, are packed full of characters. After no more than 10 minutes in the bar, I got chatting with Alan, who, amongst many other things, is a collector of treasures. He ended up here after many years in the mining industry, and today spends much of his time preserving the past at a local museum.
No one's got any hard problems or anything?
No, unless you're going to show me a snake.
No.
Over the years, Alan has salvaged many contraptions that tell part of Australia's mining story from the days when mining was on a much smaller scale. Tomorrow, he needs a hand to add to this collection. Unfortunately, I took a bit of a setback this morning when the car broke down just outside Charters Towers, leaving me stuck there looking for a ride and eventually a tow. My mechanical skills are elementary at best, so I need to get someone else to have a look at this.
Just left the car at the mechanic. But rather than wait around all afternoon, we'll head back out and pick up this bit of machinery and get something done for the afternoon. All set, Alan?
All set.
Rightio.
The landscape surrounding Charters Towers is dotted with old mining sites, and today, Alan has been granted permission to pick up some old equipment which will be displayed in town. We're salvaging a spiral, which is a concentrating apparatus used by the mines to separate heavy minerals from sand. This old mining site is full of relics from an age gone by, and it's fun to imagine how a place like this would have looked when operating, and to hear from an expert how some of these machines would have been used.
Oh, we're going to show the school children that come to the Miners Cottage how you can separate heavies from sand, not using a gold pan or a sluice box. This is going up the scale of evolution.
The cylinders are on deck, and Alan, we've had a bit of a look around, and it's a pretty amazing place.
It is, yeah. It's a bit off the beaten track here, but it's probably good it stays that way, otherwise it would be disturbed. Thanks very much for your help today.
Oh.
It's been really good.
Pleasure, and thank you for showing some of the relics of mining in North Queensland. Ravenswood?
Yep.
Let's go.
About 90 k's from Charters Towers and not far from where we are is the tiny mining village of Ravenswood. Established in the 1860s, this is one of the better places in the state to hunt for ghosts and gold.
I found a lot of gold, mainly with metal detectors. I've looked for diamonds, uranium, tin. Gold panning is still a very, very effective way of eliminating useless ground. If there's no minerals in the pan, it's very unlikely that they're upstream in the country you're working in. So geochemical sampling or panning is used today, as is a lot of other techniques which are far more advanced.
It's amazing some of the places you can find if you just get off the beaten track a little bit, like this little gem at Ravenswood. Chockers full of artefacts, school registers, and even musical jugs. It's amazing the history in this place. You can feel it all around you. But apparently that's not all you feel. Shelley, there's a few ghost stories around here.
Yeah, one day there was a fellow walking past in the street downstairs, and he walked past and he got all the hairs standing up in the back of his neck, and he said, I can feel a presence in this building here somewhere. And he come up into this room, and sure enough he found a musical ghost. And there actually was a music teacher here years ago, so whether it's true I don't know.
Do you feel any extra presence as you walk?
No, I don't, but whenever I vacuum the rooms I always say, excuse me, I've just got to vacuum.
I've been struck by gold fever. A day in this town and I couldn't leave, so I spent the night out here to maybe try my luck a bit today, but we stayed in Shelley's house last night, and pretty amazing place, Shelley.
Oh, that's good, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Certainly does have a special feel about it, this town. You think that's because of the gold?
Well, it'd have to be, yeah. I mean, it's always been a gold town, yeah. People expect to find gold when they come out here.
And do you think I will, with a bit of beginner's luck?
You could do. Gold is where you find it.
With a massive dose of gold fever, I've come out with Alan to try our hand at a bit of detecting. We found a spot he thinks looks okay. We'll give it a shot.
We're not worried about that sound. We want to get it.
Alan gives me a few quick lessons with his detector, and then he bravely lets me on the loose.
It's a bit like fishing. We just got a little bit of a nibble there. Not enough to get too excited, but enough to keep us interested. A good sign. Alan, look at this. Woohoo! We got him, we got him, we got him, we got him! Look at this beauty. 15 grams of gold and $400. We'll be right now. What do they say? Eureka! Eureka! I've found gold! Unfortunately, Alan, we staged that one, but there must be a lot of excitement if you do find a bit of gold.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really gets to you. You've already experienced gold fever firsthand. I've found a few nuggets like this, and they find them every day around Australia on the goldfields in the west, up here in North Queensland. It's really a second gold boom going on, and you'll just experience part of it.
Is there a genuine chance that we could find something out here?
Oh, too right. Yeah, we're right amongst it. But there's a lot of patience. You've got to do this for hours and hours and days and days. And of course, there's rubbish, lots of rubbish. The miners lived here, they worked here, they dropped their tin sheds there. It's all here, so we've got to sort out the rubbish from the gold.
Righto, we might keep at it and try and find some for real. Been poking around, found a nail earlier on that got me a little bit excited. But then just now, I found what is presumably a little copper signet of some description. The plunder. Didn't have a whole lot of luck mining gold today, so for tonight I'm working behind the bar, trying to build up the kitty.
The Ravenswood Roundup is a music festival that happens once a year at the local pub and pulls in a crowd and talent from all over the place. Just by chance, it's on here this weekend. The four-wheel drive's not ready, they need an extra barman, so a much needed lucky break for me.
Ain't got no driving wheel now. You wanna make me wheeze? there ain't no pleasing.
My bartending skills are somewhat rusty, however the locals here are friendly and happy to have some great live music in their town for the weekend. This event has a fantastic relaxed feel about it and well worth getting to if you're ever in these parts around September.
What's the lady's name? Thank you, Barbara.
I've arrived back in Charters Towers and found a pretty good camp spot. And I've just paid for my board. Nothing's been done to the car while I was away, the mechanic was too busy. But the truck depot where I'm staying actually has a large shed and some good tools, so maybe there's another option.
I'm going to try it myself. I've been given lots of different advice. I was told to rebuild the engine, I was told to put ginger in the engine. But I'm going for an option that is still wallet friendly, but it does see me on the tools, replacing a gasket.
I'm very much a mechanical novice. I've never done anything like this before, but I'm really just out of options.
Really don't know what I'm doing here, but I get the sense it's quite urgent to get it done quickly and get it on. To be honest, this morning I didn't really know what a gasket was. Now, through financial and time necessities, I've made and changed 2 of them. The whole thing took me a bit longer than I expected, so I had to move outside so they could shut the workshop. I'm just putting the final touches on it now, and I don't know, maybe I've got it. I'll be very pleased with myself if I have. It's been a very anxious night for me, waiting for this moment, but the first test, let's see how we went.
A couple of days ago, I thought the whole show might have been over, but I've had a shot at fixing this myself. The only thing to do now is to head west and hope for the best. From here, the westbound Flinders Highway stretches out towards Hughenden, and hopefully between here and there, I can find some work and top up the account. I've really enjoyed meeting some of the characters of Charters Towers and Ravenswood, and I was amazed at the help and advice I received. It's almost sad to be moving along, but at the same time, it's also exciting to be back on the move and enjoying the open road.
Bit flat for cash at the moment, so I pulled up at a free camp halfway between Pentland and Hughenden, I think. Having some bread now, and then I'll cook some baked beans as well. Not a real fancy meal, but she'll do. This is great. Just wake up on the side of the road to this. Pretty happy with the way the car's running. That thermostat's lower than I've ever seen it, I think. There's not much to the old North Australia wave. A few phone calls I've made around has led me to what could be an opportunity at Malakoff, a place just down below Hughenden. I've arrived at Malakoff as they're pouring concrete, and with the cement setting really quickly, there's barely been even time for greetings. It put me straight on to work.
Malakoff Station is a family-run cattle station. The place is run by the Hawkins family, and they all pitch in when something needs to be done. It's isolated, it's hot, and it takes a special breed to survive out here as well.
Out on these stations, they're a long way from town and everything, so everyone has to be able to do everything, and I've just rocked up here, got quickly told how to do it, and now I'm laying cement.
With the concreting done, today I'm off to help Clint do some cattle work. We're clearly in cattle country here, and it's great to be out amongst the cows.
At the end of the year, the grass loses its nutritional value, so we supplement with these blocks. They're about 100 kilos, so
Yeah, 300 kilos.
so Scotty's just rolling them off the back here.
These cows seem to know inherently what their bodies are missing, and don't they just love it?
I'll send pregnant cows first, and then after pregnant cows I'll either send really good young cows and not in.
Spending time with Clint, it's easy to see his passion for cattle and the country up here. He's a wealth of knowledge, and I'm constantly impressed with the ability of the people up here to thrive in what seem like pretty tough conditions.
I've really enjoyed a couple of days here at Malakoff. Learnt a bit, earnt a bit. Now I'm off to the Gulf.
The country between Hughenden up to the Gulf is big flat country, peppered by some small scrub and plenty of these guys. Camels were originally imported into Australia in the 19th century for transport and construction. Australia is the only country to have a feral camel population, and they've certainly made themselves at home.
The Gulf of Carpentaria. I finally made it. I've been driving all day, but now I'm in Karumba. I might have some work for the next few days. I'll find out more tomorrow. Until then, I may as well enjoy this. Haven't been as successful as I would have liked in Karumba as far as work's concerned, but what a great spot to spend a couple of days. I just think I've come at the wrong end of the season, and plus this bad weather's closing in a bit. I've got a bit of cash left in the kitty, so I think I'll head back into cattle country and maybe I'll have more luck there. Left Karumba this morning and headed for work down today. A bit of cloud cover makes things a little more pleasant. It's not as hot, it's not as much dust. The country's pretty as well. We've come through a bit of a river and then flat country, then a river and flat country. It's quite nice. This is the Leichhardt River. Imagine the water rushing through here in the wet. Little dead crocodile there. Bit disappointing it's a dead one. I hope it's a naturally dead one, not some idiot killed it. Wow, what a pretty spot.
This is such a scenic place. It's quiet, it's peaceful, there are birds, reptiles, insects, mammals hiding over every ledge.
It's just another one of those gems that you can get to quite easily if you just make a bit of effort.
Now, I'm not sure what lives in the water here, but I thought it might be worth trying to catch something I could use for bait for fishing over the next couple of days. Hopefully not something large, leathery, with big teeth.
Woken up at Leichhardt Falls. It's a bit windy and a bit cold this morning, so glad I put the jumper in, but a magical spot, and it's impossible to wake up in a bad mood at somewhere like this. Every time you look at this place, it seems prettier, whether it's a different light or a different bird or just a different rock you're looking at. Yesterday afternoon I dropped a yabby trap in here, hoping to get a couple of little live baits I can use to catch a fish. Hey, there's something in there. Hey. Couple of big shrimp or freshwater prawn, I think, which I don't think I'm going to waste actually on bait. I might try and cook them up myself. They're pretty good size. I'm certainly no master chef, but I'll try this.
These prawns certainly have a bit of size about them and will be such a good break from the wheat bix that have been on the menu since I started the trip.
These look really good already. I think they're getting pretty close now and they smell delicious.
Today will be a very interesting day. Walking around town last night, I picked up a new bit of work. This old Ford here's got an engine in it that needs to come out so they can wreck the car. How my mechanical knowledge is going to go this time, we'll soon find out.
This Ford F100 was likely born a little bit before me. I just hope I haven't aged as badly as she has.
Well, unlike my last attempt, I've got a bit of help here today. Mick, is it a big job or?
Oh, it's not too bad. Yeah, we don't have to worry about the car around it.
What are we doing exactly?
Well, the car is just a little bit too rusty to rescue, unfortunately. And the motor and gearbox are that good, we just can't send them to the tip, so we can use them on some other project somewhere.
Well, they reckon it's simple. It's just a few bolts, a few pipes, but I've heard that before. Yeah, it's close, it's just a bit too small. Yeah, and that one's too big.
I never thought I'd say this, but demolition isn't actually all that easy. And despite Mick's guidance, this is shaping up to be a tough day.
Well, I've already been here for a while and I've managed to get one nut off. That's the extent of what I've done so far.
I've got faith in you, you'll be right.
I guess when you think about it, it's probably a good thing that cars don't come apart so easily. I'm definitely no mechanic, and I don't think I've got the body shape for it either.
Got everything undone now. Just trying to work out where to hook our chain on to lift him up. Job done. I was just sitting down at breakfast, contemplating maybe going for another fish before I packed up and left Burketown, when a local builder walked in and said he needed a hand for a day. So somewhat reluctantly, I guess, I think I'm off to pour some more concrete. There's a stack of footings here dug to about 5.5 metres. They've been filled up with concrete to put these posts in them. There's going to be a hospital here, so we're into it now. It's about the middle of the day, and it's very warm at the moment. There's lots of sweat coming out of me. We're making some progress though. We're just filling the truck up again before we fill some more holes.
Because of the remote location, everything here has to be mixed up on site. And that's where Mick and I have teamed up again to do the groundwork. There fortunately is a front end loader, which makes things a little bit easier and a lot dustier.
Feels like we're making a beer.
It's hard work out here today. Definitely the hardest day yet. But the thought that we're actually helping to build a new hospital for the town makes it slightly more bearable.
He's all over bar the shouting here, and when it is, there's got to be a barra, or at least a beer with my name on it. Well, we've finished the concreting and we've made our way to the pub, and Trevor, it was hot work out there.
Oh yeah, no fun at all. I think I'm going to sack myself.
To sack yourself?
Yeah.
How did I go?
Ah, good mate, it's good. We should have started a bit earlier though.
It would have been a bit better.
Yeah.
How do you generally go getting staff up at Burketown?
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a mission, yeah. I'm trying to get some of the locals here now, so hopefully she'll all be good.
Yeah. And your remedy for a hard day's work?
Yeah, straight to the pub and ring them up beforehand to make sure that they have the beer on ice. Because they never do. That's where it's hard to get good staff, at the pub.
Burketown is a very well known and popular destination for pilots of trikes and microlights. I met a couple of them in camp last night, and Bill offered to take me up for a run.
The opportunity to get up in one of these things is really exciting me. I'm strapped in very tight, which I'm happy about.
Freedom and peacefulness that you experience up here is what the pilots are drawn to, and I can completely see why.
That was so much fun. It's just such an incredible way to see the country. You're like a bird. There's birds flying underneath you. It's just so much fun. It's such a thrill too. Like, wow. So Burketown, it seems obviously popular for fishermen, but also pilots of trikes, hang gliders, motorised hang gliders, all sorts of flying contraptions as well.
Some of the locals have pointed me towards a fishing hole about 10k out of town. I'm told that despite it being the home of a rather large and grumpy saltwater crocodile, it's also the home of many large barramundi.
Apparently it's all very simple. I just need some running water, a couple of snags, and it should be right.
Unfortunately, the only things I've seemed to be able to catch so far are wooden. And as much as I enjoy swimming normally, today, in there, I'm not that keen.
I got it back. Had to climb up into the tree there in a very precarious situation above, let's say, crocodile inhabited waters, but I got it back. Not so much because I valued the lure, but what's going to be on the end of it very soon. I'm on! There you go. Been fishing here for quite some time, and to be honest, just about to pack up. And then we get one. Woohoo! Might be a little bit small though, unfortunately, but it's a barramundi. Well, I presume it's a barramundi, and it was good fun, so I don't know how to measure it though, but I'd say we'll put him back. Woohoo! A barramundi. How much fun was that? After a couple of great days in Burketown, I'm heading south towards Lawn Hill National Park for a bit of a break. The driving this morning's been a bit hot and sticky, so I'm going to cool off in the Gregory River. This place is as pretty as anywhere in Australia. There's no resort, no crowded shopping malls, just a track off the side of the road.
Time and time again, this journey has thrown up pleasant surprises and special places that constantly remind me what travelling is all about. There is a lot of space up here, and after spending a lot of time on the road on my own, it's good to have someone to talk to. I'm now heading south to one of the more well-known treasures, a campsite that's apparently a must-see for anyone travelling throughout northwest Queensland. This is it, Adele's Grove. Been working pretty hard the last few days, so a couple of days off.
Another really special spot here. Woken up amongst the palms, the ghost gums. The river's just there, a lazy wedge shot away. I'll go and freshen up in that in just a moment, enjoy my cup of tea, and get into the day.
At the Lawn National Park. It's fairly warm, but I've jumped in a canoe, headed upstream, and already I can see the rewards in front of me.
Lawn Hill Gorge in Budjamala National Park is spectacular. The red rock formations and the wildlife here keep your eyes continually wandering. Whether canoeing or hiking, there's a lot to see in this vast oasis.
Probably shouldn't be out here for fairly obvious safety reasons, but there's something about going right to the edge and this view, it's too good to resist. I left Adele's Grove early this morning, made my way across to Herbert Vale Station above Camberwell. It was a bit of a goat track, but good fun coming across here. I've hopefully got a couple of days here. Already the boys are in the yards working on some cows. I'll go and make myself useful.
Open the gate for this black one, Scott. The white one.
And the white one?
Yeah, and those two, yep. Done.
He's got the attitude.
Yeah, Brahman both.
They're testing the agility, some of these. Well, that was a bit of fun. A few laps around the round yard.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's the best one out there. Hopefully we go straight to the meat box. Righto, Bill. What were we doing this morning then?
Yeah, we're just drafting this last lot of weaners that we got for the finish off for the year, and they'll all be going on adjustment elsewhere further down south for different markets and that.
Righto, and I pretty much landed here and jumped straight in the yards. How'd I go?
Yeah, no, you did well. Like, you got rubbed up for the second beast, but yeah, Scotty, no, you did well.
What have we got on this afternoon?
Well, now we've got them all split up. We just got to walk them out, put them on the water. 3 mobs now, so.
Righto.
We'll end her.
Let's go and move some cattle.
Might not look it, but this is some of the best cattle country in Australia. Northwest Queensland alone turns off hundreds of thousands of cattle every year, mainly bound for export markets in Asia and the Middle East. The work in growing out the cattle is endless and diverse, and a lot of care goes into it. Making sure that these weaners, for instance, get to water safely is just one of the daily tasks.
I'm fairly eager to get up there, Bill.
Yeah, mate, yeah, no, they've been in the yard off water, so...
Bill, specifically what was I meant to be doing there in the lead?
No, you did well, Scott. We just had to steady them.
What's next for us then?
Well, I reckon that's it for us. We'll go cattle out of the yard, so we'll head home and have a cold one, I reckon.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
We've got a few little jobs to do this morning. We've got to check the weaners that we put out yesterday, check a couple of bores, but this is all pretty big country, so to run around, we're taking the bird, and I'm going along to open some gates.
When I started this trip, the goal was to make it from the coast right across Queensland. It's quite fitting that on my last day here at Herbertvale, I've achieved that goal.
We're heading up here, we're just coming up on the Northern Territory border fence. We'll head south and check the two bores here, check that the cattle have got water mainly. We'll get down here a bit lower and we'll just...
Water is obviously critical to survival in this country, and making sure that there are constant, reliable watering points is a big part of what these blokes do.
Just having the helicopter here at home, for what we're doing now, you can jump in and start it, you can fly around, you can check everything in an hour and a half. We're just going to land here. Fellas started 2 days ago, but it hasn't been pumping, so
Out here, a long way from town, people have to be a jack of all trades. Cattleman, pilot, mechanic and a plumber, just to name a few.
Lovely water there, so the reason we go with the turkey nest is because if to get that capacity in tanks, like even the silver tanks that they're selling now, the big silver tanks that they advertise.
A lot of cattle means a lot of water. Up here, most of this comes from underground and is pumped up with bores and windmills. To get around, having to install a lot of expensive galvanised tanks, station owners often use what are known as turkey's nests to store their water.
Obviously flying into a turkey nest like that, you disturb the cattle. All the cattle are moving off, so I just do a bit of an orbit around here. Just fly around a bit wider and just turn all those leads back onto the trough. I'll show you what a bit of height does. Makes you feel like you're sitting on a seat about this wide. We're only at 1200. We're not even high,
That's amazing up there. It's such big country, and what a great way to see it. Heap of cattle, check some bores, the old stock camp. The wind throws you around a bit, but Bill seems to know what he's doing, so it was an excellent trip. A few days with Bill and Beck Hawkins has been a wonderful experience. To get to know these genuine people who typify the hard-working families of the cattle stations of northwest Queensland. Throughout this adventure, I've been lucky enough to meet some of the nicest people you're ever likely to come across, and this has just added to what's been a great journey. When I left Townsville, I really didn't know what to expect. Since then, I've seen so many different landscapes, so many towns, met amazing people, seen extraordinary places I didn't really even know existed. I've turned my hand to many different things, said no to nothing. I've had some ups and some downs, but in all, it's been a fantastic experience. If this is something you've thought about, or reckon you might enjoy, I'd say give it a go. It might just be the adventure you're after.